Hello everyone, welcome to the webinar series organized by Shri Shivaji Art, Commerce and Science College, Akola. Now in this series of talk, today's topic is PG entry level exams for UG student. This is Dr. Vivek Narkhedkar. I am assistant professor in the botany subject at Mahatma Jyotiba Phule Commerce Science and Vittal Raut Arts College, Bhatkuli, District Amravati. Today, I will be talking about the PG entry level exams for UG student. After completing the bachelor's degree, students are going for higher education. Now, what are the different scopes and opportunity available for them to pursue their career? That is what I am going to discuss. Now, student, I just want you to know that after having the BSc degree, you can pursue your career in different opportunities in different scope. You have different scopes and opportunity. Likewise, if you are going, you can have directly your career through a competitive examination like MPSC and UPSC. So I have given various categories, or you can go for entrepreneurship development, you can go for your own business model, or you can go for higher studies. Now the today's topic is higher studies. So now let me tell you something. Nowadays, the students after having their bachelor's degree, they are following a usual trend. Either they are going for MSc Botany, MSc Zoology or MSc Biotechnology, or and after that they are going for NET set or PhD degrees. Now what the students are doing, that after entering into MSc degree, they are just aiming for lecturership, and for that they are doing NET set and PhD. Dear student, I just want you to know that beside doing this MSc Botany, Zoology and Biotechnology in the affiliated colleges or in the university department nearby your area, you will have and you have a different and varieties of scopes and opportunities available throughout the India. If you pursue your career as per these available new opportunities, believe me, you will have a very great and a different career as compared to this usual trend. So I will be talking about some prestigious entrance examination for higher studies. Now while discussing this, I will tell you what is the name of exam, who conducts that exam, and who consider the score obtained in the exam, or which are the participatory institutes who conducts or who in collaboration consider the score obtained in that exam. Now what are the eligibility criteria for that exam, when it is conducted, the pattern of examination, syllabus of examination and the selection procedure, and after all the important thing, how to prepare for exam and what to read. So this is the list of exam which I am going to discuss. There are about 7 exams. The names are here: joint graduate entrance examination for biology and interdisciplinary life sciences, admission for biological sciences, IIT JAM, JNU CEB or BHU entrance examination, Pune University examination or GRE. After that, if you categorize them, some of the exams leads to the research, and whereas some of the exams leads to the usual MSc degree. But the institute offered by these exams, they are far much different as compared to what the recent trend students are following nowadays. The environment, the scopes and the interaction you will have in the subject is far much different as compared to what students are getting nowadays. Now this is the thing which I want to focus in this lecture, that is integrated courses, MSc plus PhD. Everybody knows about the MSc course, everybody knows about the PhD. MSc is a simpler post graduation degree in Master of Science, and PhD is Doctor of Philosophy. Nowadays people are doing a separate MSc and separate PhD degree, but these are some of the most prestigious institute in India: TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, CCMB, Center for Cell and Molecular Biology, NCBS, National Center for Biological Sciences, IISc, Indian Institute of Science, IICR, Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, NISER, that is NICER, National Institute for Science, Education and Research, and Indian Institute of Technology, IITs. These are most prestigious institute in India. Not only in India, they are also recognized by foreign universities for their excellence in the subject. Now, what is this integrated courses? As the word suggests, MSc and PhD, both the degrees, they are merged together. They are integrated. That means when you complete this course, you can have a common degree with post graduation as well as PhD degree. As I said that these are the most prestigious institute in India. That means the environment, scientific environment, knowledge and everything whatever you will have in that institute will be far much better. So regarding this, let's discuss first exam, joint graduate entrance examination for biology and interdisciplinary life sciences. This is the abbreviation. For more information about this exam, you can visit this website. This exam is conducted by TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, which advertise notification in October and conducts exam in December. Now about 23 different institutes participate in that exam. That means these 23 institutes consider the score obtained in this exam for admission into their courses. Most important are DBS Mumbai, Department of Biological Sciences, NCBS Bangalore, National Center for Biological Sciences, TIFR Hyderabad, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, IISER and NIISER. These are some of the most important institutes who consider the score obtained in this exam. The various courses offered by qualifying this exam is the integrated PhD, which I discussed just a few minutes ago, MSc by research, MSc in wildlife biology and conservation, and the seat depends on the institute intake. Now after giving that exam, you have to apply for a particular institute out of the list of these 23 institute. Now for which exam you are applying and at which institute you are applying, that depends the number of seats available for the admission. Examination fee is 900 for the male candidate and 300 for female candidate. Now eligibility criteria for the integrated courses is any UG degree in any biological science discipline with at least 55 marks, and for MSc wildlife biology and conservation at least 50 marks in the core subject. Pattern of examination is online, multiple choice question. Now this exam covers topics from maths, physics, chemistry and biology. It is divided into 4 sections A, B, C, D. Section A deals with the general, B deals with the physics, C deals with the chemistry and D is about biology. Each section has 15 questions and the time limit is 2 hours. In each section, first 10 question carries 1 mark and later 5 question carries 2 marks. So total 60 questions and 100 marks. Half mark is the negative marking. Now about the syllabus. They have not specified any syllabus, but they said that +2 level, that means 11th and 12th level, this level is for maths and physics, whereas chemistry and biology will be from graduate level, that means your BSc degree. Now selection process is that candidate will be shortlisted on campus interview based on the exam marks, that is entrance exam, your curriculum vitae, resume, scientific write-up and letters of recommendation. Now scientific write-up is the hypothetical research write-up in which area you want to pursue your career. So this is what the scientific write-up is. If you are going for MSc degree by research or integrated PhD courses, at that time you have to submit scientific write-up in given words. Usually all the centers which are affiliated to this exam, they shortlist candidate independently. Now this is why I put this exam at the first place, that is because of fellowship offered. Now in the integrated PhD courses, the monthly fellowship is 21,000 per month for the first year of MSc course. That means when you are getting admission into MSc courses, since then you will be starting earning. Now after the end of first year, upon your satisfactory performance, fellowship will be raised to 31,000 per month. and after that when you registered for PhD course, at that time the fellowship will be 35,000 per month. If you calculate the complete tenure and the amount received, it will be more than 30 lakhs. Just compare the regular MSc plus PhD course with the integrated PhD course. For MSc in the regular mode you need 2 years, and for the PhD approximately 5 years. That means in the regular mode you are devoting about 7 years for MSc plus PhD. But in this course, while pursuing your MSc degree of 2 years, in the last year itself you will be starting your research, and by the end of MSc you will be conquered with the research area you are going to pursue your career, and after that it will take about 3 to 4 years to have a PhD degree. That means if you are going by integrated PhD courses, you are saving about 1 to 2 years of your life in this competitive age, and that also with the fellowship. Now for MSc by research degree, the monthly fellowship is 16,000 plus HRA as applicable, and for MSc wildlife biology and conservation it is 12,000 fixed. Now the next exam which I want to discuss is the admissions for biological sciences by Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Dear friends, I want you to know that IISc Bangalore is the topmost institute of India for basic sciences. If you consider the world ranking of different institutes of higher education, in that this is the only institute among the India for biological sciences or for basic sciences which qualified for that list. So for more information you can visit this website. IISc advertised notification for admission in February and conduct the interview in May. IISc don't conduct any separate exam. The courses offered is integrated MSc plus PhD degree in biological sciences. About 15 to 23 are vacancy for admission into integrated MSc courses. Exam fee is 800 rupees for general and OBC candidate, and for reserve category it is 400. Now for eligibility criteria in integrated courses, you should have a bachelor's degree in any biological sciences with first class. Biological sciences covers botany, zoology, biotechnology, microbiology. These are the various subjects which are biochemistry which are covered in biological sciences. If you pursue your bachelor degree in any of these courses with first class, then you will be eligible for this course. You have to give exam of IIT JAM in biotechnology, and after the declaration of results, immediately you need to update your score online for the further process. Now as there is no separate exam, so no matter of examination for discussion, but candidate has to appear and qualify IIT JAM. Now about IIT JAM I will be discussing in the next section. Now syllabus is also pertaining to IIT JAM. Selection process is based on the combined merit list prepared by IIT JAM score and the interview performance at IISc Bangalore. Fellowship offered is just the same as integrated PhD courses in NCBS. That means cumulatively if you are talking, by the end of tenure you will have more than 30 lakhs in hand. Now next exam which I want to discuss is the IIT JAM, IIT Joint Admission Test for MSc Biotechnology. Now for more information you can visit this site. Actually this site is for the IIT JAM exam conducted in this current year 2020. There are several IITs in India, and by their turn each IIT conducts an examination. So usually IIT advertise notification in September and conduct the examination in February. In the IITs various courses are offered, that is MSc, joint MSc PhD, dual degree MSc PhD. Now the seats depend upon the particular IIT's intake quota for specified course. Whether you want to go for MSc degree or joint MSc PhD degree or dual degree, and which institute offers these courses, you have to look for that, and it depends upon that particular course and the availability of course in a particular institute, what will be the number of vacancies. So for examination fees, general and OBC candidate has to pay 1500 rupees, and reserve category and PWD candidate has to pay 750 rupees. Now eligibility criteria is 55% without rounding off. That means you have to score a complete 55% in bachelor's degree, not less than that. That means you cannot score even 54.95%. You have to score complete 55 and more than that. Pattern of examination is online, multiple objective questions with three different pattern of questions, about 100 marks for 3 hours. So there are three sections with three different categories of question. Section A has multiple choice question, a regular mode of question where 10 questions of 1 mark and 20 questions of 2 marks. So total 30 questions carrying 50 marks. Now in section B, a multiple selection question. That means here the question consists of more than one correct answer. You have to choose all the correct answer, and if you choose all the correct answer, then and then only you will get the complete credit for that question. There is no partial grading. So here 10 questions of 20 marks. Now section C is a numerical answer type where 10 question carries 1 mark and 10 carries 2 marks. So 20 question and 30 marks. There is a negative marking only for section 1. For 1 mark question it is 1/3 negative marking, and for 2 marks question it is 2/3 negative marking. So total 60 question including all the three sections. Now syllabus is bachelor degree, biology and chemistry, and again +2 level mathematics and physics. Now about the selection process. After IIT JAM result, apply online through common admission portal link available at Exam Organizing Institute website and give preference for the program. For the program means the courses. As we have seen just a few slides before, there are several courses. Now you have to give a preference for a particular course. Now candidate will be shortlisted on the All India merit list of IIT JAM exam. Apply for desired course available at particular IIT. Each IIT may have some separate eligibility criteria for a particular course. Now let's again the available courses. Now let's discuss. MSc is usual course. Now here joint MSc PhD. Joint MSc PhD is just like integrated MSc PhD course which we have already discussed. Now this is the new dual degree MSc PhD. The difference is that in this course, after completing your Master of Science, you will have a MSc degree in your hand, and later on you can carry your PhD in continuation with the MSc degree. So after completing PhD, you will have a PhD degree in your hand. That means a single course but two different degrees for MSc and PhD. But in case of integrated PhD courses or joint MSc PhD courses, you will have a single degree of MSc and PhD, and that also after the completing your course. So fellowship offered. Now institute offers various schemes for different courses, but there is no fixed fellowship scheme. Some institute offers free accommodation and mess facilities. Now the various fellowship offered by Government of India is also tenable in the IITs. The next exam which I want you to know is Jawaharlal Nehru University Combined Entrance Examination for a Biotechnology. Most of the students might have preparing for the biotechnology MSc courses. Now for that they have to give this exam. This is the very famous exam among the graduate students which assume that they want to go for biotechnology courses through a JNU exam. This is the famous JNU exam. For more information, you can visit this website. This exam is conducted by National Testing Agency. Usually, it advertises notification in March and conducts exam in May. There are 54 member universities which participate in that exam. That means they consider the score obtained in this exam for admission into their MSc Biotechnology courses. The course offered is MSc Biotechnology. Here is nothing mentioned about the research in continuation with the MSc degree. Only PG course is available. Examination fee is 1000 rupees for general, OBC and EWS candidate, and for reserve category it is 500. Eligibility criteria is 55% marks in the qualifying degree examination. Pattern is online multiple choice question. Total 240 marks for 3 hours. There are two sections, section A and section B. Section A carries 60 MCQs for 1 marks, so total 60 marks, and half mark is a negative marking. Section B carries 60 questions, mandatory questions, out of 100 questions. That means there are 100 questions, and out of 100 you have to solve only 60 questions as per your choice. Now this question carry 3 marks each, so total 180 marks, and 1 mark is negative marking. Section A is +2 level and section B is qualifying bachelor's degree level. Selection process. The merit list is declared for the application received at the applied institute on the basis of JNU CEB results and interview and viva voce wherever applicable. That means you have to give this exam and you have to apply for a particular institute of your choice. Now it depends upon that particular institute whether they will conduct the interview or simply they will take the admission on the basis of examination score. So this examination is not entitled for any fellowship, but a proper JNU campus at Delhi, they offer some various schemes, and also Government of India scheme are tenable in the institutes. Now another examination which I want to discuss is Banaras Hindu University postgraduate entrance test. Now at the university level, this is also one of the most prestigious university in India for the research and academics as well. Now this is the website. For more information you can visit that. Usually BHU advertise notification in January and conducts exam in April or May. Courses offered are all MSc courses. Examination fee is 1600 for OBC, general and EWS candidate, and for reserve category it is 300. Eligibility criteria for MSc Botany and Zoology is BSc degree with chemistry with at least 50% marks, and for MSc Plant Biotechnology, BSc degree with chemistry with at least 60 marks, and the condition is that candidate has not secured third division more than once in academic career in your complete academic career since your HSC, SSC and the 3 years of BSc degree. Now pattern of examination is online multiple choice question, 360 marks and 2 hours. For MSc Botany there are two sections. Section A have 30 MCQs from environmental science and 60 MCQs from chemistry, and in the section B there are 30 MCQs from life sciences with 1/3 negative marking. In the MSc Zoology, one paper consists of 120 MCQs and 1/3 negative marking. For MSc Plant Biotechnology, one paper consists of 120 MCQs with 1/3 negative marking. Syllabus is qualifying bachelor's degree level. Now selection process is simply based on your score obtained in BHU entrance examination. Now BHU will prepare a merit list according to your score and you will get admission. So in the fellowship, no special offers from the BHU, but financial assistance may be provided to the needy candidates such as PWD and BPL, and also Government of India various schemes are tenable in the BHU. Now again at the university level, this is one of the significant university from Maharashtra region, that is Savitribai Phule Pune University, SPPU, PG admissions. Now this is the website. For your more queries and more information you can visit that. Now Pune University advertised notification in April May and conducts exam in June. It offers all the MSc courses. Examination fee is 1500 for open category and other state candidates, and for reserve category it is 350. Eligibility criteria for MSc courses is UG degree with 50% score, and for MSc Biotechnology, JNU CEB score. If you remember, just before a few slides, I mentioned that JNU CEB examination collaborated with 54 different universities, and about that 54 different universities, Pune University is one of them. So for admission into MSc Biotechnology courses, Pune University doesn't conduct any separate examination. They just display a merit list based on the JNU Biotechnology entrance examination score. Now, pattern of examination for MSc Botany is online multiple choice question, 3 hours, 100 questions, 100 marks. That means each question 1 mark. For MSc Zoology, it is also online multiple choice question and subjective also. That means you have to write the answers. Now, it is also 3 hours with 3 sections. Section A has 30 marks, Section B has 60 marks, and Section C has 90 marks. Section A and B carries 1 marks each and 1/4 negative marking, whereas Section C carries 6 marks each and a total 180 marks. And for MSc Biotechnology, examination pattern of JNU CEB examination. Now, syllabus for botany, +2 level chemistry, physics and maths, and qualifying bachelor degree botany or biological sciences course. For zoology, section A is the reasoning and comprehension. For section B, it is +2 level biology, chemistry, physics, maths, and section C deals with a graduate level concerned subject, that is zoology. And for biotechnology, it is again a common examination of JNU. Selection process, it depends upon the merit, where you have to score more than 50% marks in the entrance examination. And for MSc Biotechnology, again it is the JNU exam. This examination is not entitled for any fellowship, but the various scheme offered by Government of India, they are tenable in the Pune University. Now, this is again one of the important thing which I want to discuss here, that if you want to go for higher studies in the European or the American countries, then you have to qualify this exam, that is GRE, Graduate Record Examination. Now here friends, I want to make clear the word graduate. Now, as per our understanding, the simple understanding of the word graduate is that graduate degree means BSc degree or UG degree. But the meaning of graduate is that any course leading to the degree. That means if you are doing Master of Science, MSc, that also a graduate degree. But we say it as a post graduation. For BSc we say undergraduation, but both they are the graduate degree. If you want to take admission in the foreign countries, European and American, for your UG courses or PG courses, then you should have the scorecard of Graduate Record Examination. For more details, you can visit this site. It is conducted by Educational Testing Services USA. It is an indicator of proficiency in English language and the concerned subject. This is not an entrance examination. This exam is meant for only checking a candidate proficiency in the language. That means if you are going in the American and European countries, whether you are capable of speaking English and interacting with the teachers and students of that particular area. That's why this exam is conducted, to know the efficiency of the candidate. So GRE by ETS is conducted frequently throughout the year. For general test, which deals with the English language, one has to apply online whenever the candidate is ready for appearing into the examination. Now, subject test is conducted in September, October and April months. Courses offered, there are no courses which is offered by GRE examination, but when you apply for a particular course in European or American country, they ask you about the GRE scorecard. So it is essential for admission into graduate courses in US and other countries. Examination fee for GRE general test is US dollars 205, and for subject test, as we are dealing with the biology, it is US dollar 150. Now this dollar conversion into INR, Indian National Rupees, depends upon your date of application. So this is very high amount. But if you want to go abroad for your higher studies, and if you are desire to do that, you can afford it. Eligibility criteria for general test, there is no restriction, anyone can apply for. And for subject test, applicants for graduate school, they need to take the subject test. Pattern of examination for general test, online or paper based, it is your choice. 3 hours for 3 hours and 45 minutes. So there are 6 sections with a 10 minutes break following the third section, and the questions are mixed type. That means some MCQ might be there and you have to write also. That means subjective or descriptive answer type. In the subject test, a paper delivered format, no online examination, 2 hours and 50 minutes, and all the questions are mixed type. So syllabus for general examination, GRE test measures verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, critical thinking, and analytical writing skill. And for the subject examination, not specified, but usually questions are based on basic description of the laboratory and field situation, diagrams or experimental results. Selection process, as I said, this is not an entrance examination, this is just a proficiency test. Selection is institute right, but you need a GRE score, and that also 90 to 95% for getting admission into the best institute. And the score less than 85% is not acceptable anywhere. That means you are not proficient in the language. As again, GRE is not an entrance examination, so it is not entitled for a fellowship. But the fellowship which you will be getting in the courses depend upon the courses applied and the institute where you have applied. Now this is the again important question, attempts. None of the examination described here has mentioned about the number of times a candidate can appear for exams. Only passing and having that quality is very important. For any further updates, check the given website and the current year notification. But till now, for any of the exam which I described here, there is no limitations or attempt. Syllabus. If you have seen, if you have observed that during the various examination, I have not said that there is a given a specific prescribed syllabus. That means you have to have your ability of graduate level and +2 level. You should have knowledge of all your academic career and you have to appear for the exam. But as per the pattern of examination and previously asked question, we can still outline the syllabus. But remember friends, this is the syllabus which I am going to show is not limited to that much only, because question can be asked from any section pertaining to your graduation and +2 level. Now for the biology, these are the various contents. You can take note of it or you can just take a screenshot of this screen. This is about the chemistry. Again, if you want, you can take note or take a screenshot. This is about physics. Now this chemistry and biology, they are from +2 and +3. +3 means BSc level, +2 means 11th and 12th level. But physics is +2 level and mathematics is +2 level. You can take note or screenshot. Again physics, you can take note or screenshot. Remember, the questions which are going to be asked, they are not restricted to this much content only, because none of the examination has specified a particular syllabus. They are just checking your capability in the subject as per your academic career. Now this is the most significant question. How to prepare for exam? I would suggest first know yourself, your strength and weaknesses. That means whether you are good in academics or whether you are good in research. If you want to pursue your career in only MSc, then you can go for described universities, or if you want to go for research, then you can go for previous entrance examination in this presentation. So according to your strength and weakness, decide the target exam if prescribed. But here no prescribed syllabus, but still I have shown you the probable syllabus for the examination. You have to study the syllabus and the question pattern. Important. Now communicate with the experienced people and they will tell you a simplified their experience and how to prepare for the examination. But everybody does this. But what makes the difference? You might have seen that many students are preparing for the examination. I have seen many students are preparing after MSc for the NET set, but they are taking time for qualifying the examination. After BSc also, people are doing preparation for the examination, but they are not qualifying. Everybody is doing this stuff, but what actually make the difference is that so during your studies, you have to target the exam when you are in first year or second year only. After getting into final year, it will be very difficult to prepare the complete syllabus from 11th, 12th and BSc first and second year. So you should be start preparing when you entered into a graduate degree. So doing graduation, separate out the common topics from your qualifying degree syllabus and the probable syllabus for the entrance examination. If you are doing this, so you have to thoroughly prepare the common topics while pursuing the bachelor degree, the common topics which will be asked in the entrance examination and which are in your bachelor degree examination. So you need not to prepare separately for any of this exam. That means when you are pursuing your bachelor degree, so doing that you will be getting prepared for the entrance examination. And also make a habit of practicing test on regular frequency. This is very important because although students are doing all the things, but they are lacking one thing, that is time management, and for that thing you need to practice test on regular frequency. Another thing which I want to focus is the smart work during your preparation. Whenever you are studying science, whenever you are studying any concept, any contents, at that time always ask question to yourself that why this has happened, when this has happened, why this has happened, where it has happened, which are the factors which leads to this happening, who is responsible for that and how it is happened. Ask every WH type of question while preparing any scientific concept. This is the key to success. When you are doing this, ultimately you are understanding that scientific concept and you need not to prepare separately for any kind of examination. Now this is what I usually talk about, that is psychology during examination. Some people are doing smart work, they are practicing and they are doing everything which I have said and which other resource person might have said, but psychology during examination is very important. You might have seen the student, they are preparing for years and for semesters and semester for examination, but when they appear for exam, after the exam they said that I was scared, I couldn't manage my time, I was disturbed, I couldn't select the proper question. So dear friends, this is what I want to focus, that is your time management, mental stability and question selection. Now what time management? Time management means just look at your target exam, which exam you are going to appear, look at the section, look at the number of question in the section and divide your time. That means you have to decide how much time you are going to spend on a particular section, and if within that time you cannot complete that section, so whether you want to skip that section or you want to continue with that section, it is your decision as per your strength and your weaknesses. This is what you have to manage. Mental stability, most of the students you might have experienced that after giving examination they said that, oh, I tried much for this question but I couldn't answer. But while trying that question, that particular candidate has spent a lot of time by spending on that question for coming to the answer. But if that student has never prepared for that question, has never prepared that topic, then what is the meaning in spending time? Only if you are read it once or twice, during preparation but you don't remember at the time of examination, then what is the meaning in spending so much of time during examination? So at that time of examination your mentality should be very firm. That means you should have a very firm control on yourself, that whether you want to spend time on that question or you don't want to spend. And the question selection, again, this is the probability that most of the times, as the question are shuffled in various sets of the question paper, so it is chance that you might get a question paper set which has a tough question at the initial stage and the simpler question at the later stage. So you should be very selective while doing your examination. That means which question you should solve and which question you should select. Keep this in mind, prepare according to this, and during examination just relax and focus. Again, what to read? This is again a big question. Dear friends, if you understand that any of these universities which I said, or any of the most prestigious universities in India, they don't ask your knowledge in a particular subject area only. They want a candidate which will be dealing with the complete biological sciences or with the life sciences. And when a candidate is doing this, that means a botany candidate is not expected to have knowledge from classical zoology or classical microbiology. So while preparation, keep in mind that you are going to deal with the examination of biological sciences and life sciences. So you should be thoroughly prepared with the common topics in all the subjects of life sciences or biological sciences, that is botany, zoology, microbiology, biotechnology, environmental science, biochemistry. According to this, these are some of the important books which I want you to read and understand. Dear students, if you are not ready with the basic concepts of the biological sciences, then I would suggest first read NCERT of 11th and 12th, and after getting understanding of the technical terms and the basic concept, then go for reading of these books. Now for biochemistry and molecular biology, Wilson and Walker, Leninger for biochemistry, Lodish for cell molecular biology, plant physiology, Salisbury and Ross, developmental biology by Gilbert, QB for immunology, genetics by Nustad and Simmons, Odom ecology. And for some of the exams where there is a need of reasoning, verbal non-reasoning, aptitude, you can prepare by R.S. Agarwal books. And this is about the reference book. But if you want to practice the question, if you want to practice the test, then you can have this book, that is MSc Biology Entrance Examination. This book contains various sections dealing with various chapters of life sciences, and also a previous year question papers from different universities all over the India. If you prepare by this book, then you will be solving most of the question which has been asked in previous examination. In the market you will find other book also, but this is the comprehensive book related to biological sciences. Now I just want you to say while concluding that your story may not have such a happy beginning, but it doesn't make who you are. It is the rest part of your life, who you choose to be. So don't get depressed by your family background, available resources, but I just want you to focus on the fact that whatever may be your background, but start preparing and decide your target. At the last, I want to thank you to the principal, Shri Shivaji College of Art, Commerce and Science, Sakola, head of the department, Botany, IQAC coordinator, for inviting me for this talk, and everyone, committee members who is directly or indirectly involved in this series of talk. Thank you.